Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining me on another morning shave. Getting ready for work. So, I've really got to tell you about what happened yesterday. And it's another work-related customer rant, so you've got plenty of time to swipe up, but I hope you'll stick around for it. It's not really an angry rant. It's just something that happened that I have to talk about. And I want people to understand. I'm really not trying to come off as mean to anybody. I'm not saying I hate my job. I'm not saying I hate customers. But obviously, a few customers are going to stand out. A few incidents with my coworkers are going to stand out. And those are the ones I really have to talk about. And it's healthy to talk about things. It is so much healthier than what other people try to do with their frustration. So, here we go. And it's not really a frustrating thing. It's just something that happened that's really annoying. So let me just tell you the story and you make your own judgments. Before I do, one thing that Harry's recommends that you do is you let the shaving cream kind of settle in a bit before you start shaving. I guess it softens up the bristles and makes them easier to remove. I'm not being sponsored by Harry's, I really am not, but I figure maybe, eventually, who knows. So, I was working in the toy department, as always. Now, for those of you who have never been shopping, most stores are arranged by specific sections. And department stores like Walmart and Target and probably Asda and probably any store anywhere really, you'll have the general merchandise and the grocery section. And if you've ever been to a grocery store, you know how grocery stores are arranged. Usually there's one whole aisle for chemicals, there's one whole aisle for pasta and rice, and there's another aisle for, dried vegetables or canned fruits and whatever. There was a customer yesterday. He was with a friend, and, well, all right. I'm in the toy section, which is on the general merchandise side of the store. And this kid and his friend, or this, probably a grown-up, probably somebody in their 20s, these two friends approach me. And the one kind of looks at me and says, "Hey, where's the laundry detergent?" And I said, "Over in the grocery side in the chemical aisle." And he looks to his friend, and they have this conspiratorial smirk. And then he says, "Really? The laundry detergent isn't in the laundry section?" And he points to the aisle. There's a sign that says laundry, but it's for the baskets and the irons and stuff. And there are some laundry-related chemicals there, the starch and what have you. But no, we do not keep the laundry detergent there. And he looks like he had this gotcha moment. He said, "Oh God, who arranges this store?" And he's laughing like I'm personally the one who arranged it and that it was my decision. And he and his friend are laughing like we're all the biggest idiots in the world for not putting laundry detergent in the laundry aisle. And I wanted to say, yeah, right over there, you're standing right next to the aisle with the microwaves and the cooking utensils and the blenders, and we don't sell fruit over there. We don't sell Chef Boyardee there. It's amazing. Like, this person laughed like they have never really been shopping before, and that they had this huge one-up on a department store that clearly has been around for longer than either of us have been alive, and has managed to sort out the store arranging game quite a while ago. Now, we can debate till the sun comes up about whether Walmart is a successful company or not, but clearly their format has worked for them. And I just feel like, I don't know. Again, he wasn't necessarily being malicious, but he was being dumb. Most customers aren't being malicious, but, you don't have to be malicious to be dumb. And it was a dumb thing to do. I don't know. I guess I wish he had picked anybody else but me for that little whatever social experiment he thought he was running inside of his head. But yeah, that's off my chest now. So yeah, I mean, yesterday went fairly smoothly otherwise. So a little update on the trailer. I don't know what's happening with that right now. It turns out, so the owner, just a quick recap. Me and my husband are trying to buy this trailer. Our cousin's son owns the trailer. He lives in the trailer. He wants to leave, but we had to do a bunch of work on the yard and the porch in order for him to be able to leave. Now, unfortunately, what happened was we filled out the credit. He gave us the credit application. We filled it out and we sent it in. But it turns out he's not the one who was supposed to give us the application. It's supposed to be the trailer park manager. And we didn't realize how much involvement this person has with the process. So they didn't even put our application in. They weren't going to put our application in until the porch and the lawn and the yard were exactly as the trailer park expected it to be. And this kid isn't very good at, he's a smart kid, he's a nice kid, but maintaining a home is very different than doing everything else. I mean, so we're trying to help him, but in the meantime, there's a slight chance this woman won't accept our application, and we won't have any control over that. I'm hoping that by the time we do fill the application out again, my credit will go back up. My credit score will go back up. I just paid off both my credit cards. And yes, we are going to be going on the cruise in a couple of weeks, but I'm going to be very careful with my spending. Like, I've already got some money saved up for this cruise. And once you got the boarding passes sorted, you really don't have to spend a lot, because the excursions, there's usually food provided on those. And if you've ever been on a cruise ship before, there's hot and cold running pizza. So the only thing you really have to spend money on is tips and souvenirs. There might be something extra. There might be a restaurant at the excursion you want to go to, and you'll have to pay a little for that. But people don't know how relatively easy it is to not spend a fortune on a cruise. I mean, it's a vacation, so you save money for that. But my point is, I didn't have to go in the hole credit-wise for the last 2 cruises. I don't have to do that this time. So I'm just hoping that the fact that I paid off both of my credit cards and that I've been making the payments on time consistently is enough for the credit bureaus to be like, yep, let's get you back up to 700. I ended up walking home yesterday, and it was actually a really nice walk. But I did have a bit of a communication snafu yesterday. Michael he was having some issues with his blood sugar. And usually when I'm out walking, I'm not always glued to my phone. So I didn't get his message until I literally got to the house. Now, in the message, he said, "Can you get me coffee Heath Crunch?" And when I finally saw the message, he just sent the message, and I just barely got into the house. So I ran down to Henry's, the grocery store at the end of the street, and I thought he wanted Heath Crunch candy bars, or a Heath bar. I ended up getting him 2 Score bars. Turned out what he wanted was the ice cream, and I had a massive brain fart. I didn't realize he was talking about ice cream. And he eventually, I mean, his cousin had to go, our cousin Jamie, who you've seen in one of my videos on the trailer, had to go to Walmart anyway, so Michael ended up giving him a ride down. He got his ice cream, and I just feel really bad because in the stress of the moment, I didn't realize what it was he wanted, and it wasn't a big deal. It's just, I don't know, sometimes I'm not on the ball like I'd like to be. But I am looking forward to the cruise, and I'm hoping that takes a huge weight off my shoulders. I'm actually taking almost 2 whole weeks in April. The cruise is on the 14th, but I'm taking the 10th off. And basically the way I have it arranged is that I have plenty of vacation time to cover all the time I'll have off, but I'm going to have a nice cushion of time. I've brought that up before too, how I like to have a cushion of time. Because once again, I think everybody needs to, everybody should plan a vacation from the vacation, as it were. Like, ideally, you would use your time so that you would have a few days to prepare for the vacation, to mentally get work out of your system before you go on this vacation, which is meant to recharge and relax you. And then you would have a couple of days after you get home from the vacation to do your laundry, pay some bills, recharge a bit before you have to get into the mentality of being back at work. That's just the way I like to do it. I'm sure before too long I'll realize that's an autism thing as well, but personally I think that's a great way to handle a large chunk of time off. And I highly recommend it. So there we go. Once again, if you enjoy this content, please leave a like. I'm doing the best I can with thumbnails. I realize that sometimes the thumbnails might be a little more enticing. Doing the best I can with them. I'm not a thumbnail expert. Thought about hiring somebody else to do it, but where am I going to get the money for that? It's just the thing, it's a learning curve. Please hit that like button, follow, subscribe, share this on your social media, share it with a friend, add it to your favorites, make a nice little playlist of people who you'd like other people to know about. I don't know. Anyway, have a great day, be safe, treat each other with dignity and respect.